Greetings, pet lovers. Bridget here with First Street Pets, and today we're going to talk about which AirTag is best for dog ID. So what the heck is an AirTag? An AirTag, also called a smart tag or Bluetooth tracker, is a small battery-operated device used to locate lost items. It works using Bluetooth Low Energy, BLE, and Ultra Wideband, UWB signal to connect with nearby phones and tablets. Because these tags don't have GPS, the drain on the battery is very little. You'll notice when you use GPS on your phone, it does drain that battery pretty quickly. So this is one of the upsides of this device. At least of the ones that I reviewed, they do not need to be charged. They just have a one-time use battery. And according to the manufacturers, those batteries can last up to 3 years. Another benefit of AirTags is that they are inexpensive. They're usually about $25 or less, depending on if you get a name brand or an off brand, and we'll talk about that in my review. Because they are so low cost with a long battery life, they are becoming popular with dog owners for use as ID as an alternative to GPS collars. Now, GPS collars I will review in another video. They are very effective, but they are also kind of expensive. The collars can cost over $100 just for the unit, and then you have to pay a subscription, which can be another couple $100 a year. Plus, they do need to be charged more often. So this is why some people are choosing AirTags as an alternative. So how do AirTags work? Now, I never had one before making this video, so it took me a minute to actually kind of understand how they work. And when my friends were asking me about the making of this video, I struggled to explain it to them. So basically, it's a Bluetooth device. These tags connect with your phone just like any other Bluetooth, like a speaker that you would use to play music or an earpiece that you would use to make phone calls. When you purchase these items, you pair them with your mobile device for ease in finding the items that you may lose. Common uses for AirTags include wallets, keys, TV remotes, kids' bicycles and helmets, and other things that may be easily misplaced. When you're missing an item attached to one of these tags, you use the app that is connected to the tag and you initiate a find command in one way or the other, depending on which tag you are using. Your phone will then show you how close you are to the tag with an audio or visual cue. Sometimes it's a little arrow pointing in the direction. Sometimes it's a beep that gets louder, or it says signal weak, signal moderate, signal strong. It's kind of like the hot and cold game. If you ever played that as a kid, that's pretty much how this feature works. But that is only in the Bluetooth mode when the item is fairly close to your phone, usually within 100 feet. So the signal range on these tags is a pretty big downside. It has to be within Bluetooth range. So that's fine if you lose something in the house or in the backyard, or if you know pretty much where you're looking for the item. But with a pet, what happens when they run away and they're half a mile away? How does that help you find your lost dog? So this is where it gets complicated. So these devices are programmed to ping off of other people's phones. Now, I'll get into the specifics as I discuss each particular brand. But let's say your dog runs off and is wearing the tag and is half a mile away from you. It's obviously not going to connect with your phone. When they get within range of other people's mobile phones, they will ping off of those phones and you will be sent a notification. So you will have some idea of where your dog is. Once I got thinking about this, I realized how complicated this can get, because if your dog is running away to a remote area on train tracks or in the woods where there isn't anybody around, how is that going to work versus in the city? It's also kind of weird to think that these apps can ping off of anybody's phone without us even knowing about it. And of course, the person's identity isn't revealed to the user of the tag, but it does tell you the location of someone with a phone in the nearby area. So, I guess these are all the things that we agree to when we click yes on the terms and conditions and app permissions, because when's the last time you actually read all of that before just clicking yes, 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 I give permission, let me use this app that I want to use. So some of these tags also have other cool features. For example, you can push the button on the tag and it will make your phone beep or ring, which is sort of a reverse thing. You're not finding the tag, you're actually finding your phone. That can help if you're like me and you fall asleep in the chair watching TV and the phone migrates under the couch cushions and you don't know where it is later on. You can push the button on your tag that's connected to the phone and it will beep. Some of them also let you take selfies, so that's easier than like setting your phone down and running over to where the rest of the family is to try to take a picture. You can just hold the little button in your hand and push it when it's in that mode when you want to do selfies. Hi, Mr. Cutie. So let's talk about the different brands. There are a number of different brands, but for this video, I chose 3. One is the Apple AirTag, which you're probably familiar with if you have an iPhone. The second one is called Tile, and the third one is a cheap one that I chose randomly on Amazon. Now, I like to do that in all my reviews. I'll pick name brands and then some totally random one from Amazon just to see if it actually is any different, and sometimes they aren't. In this case, it is quite different, but I'll talk about all 3 of those, the benefits, the pros and cons, and how they work. So since this is one of my videos in the which product or service is best, in my reviews, I will be looking at cost of the item, ease of use, and effectiveness. Let's start with the Apple AirTag. So the Apple AirTag is a product that you may be familiar with. It is inexpensive. It costs around $25 and can be purchased online in many electronic stores and of course at your Apple store. Setup is simple using the Find My app on your iPhone or iPad, and the Find My app comes with all of those kinds of devices, so it's not even something that you have to download separately or purchase to use these tags. So note that the Apple AirTag only works with Apple devices. This is one of the things to be aware of if you decide to purchase one of these tags. That one only works for Apple, some only work for Android, and some can go either way. There is no subscription required for the AirTag, so your only cost is the initial purchase and a replacement of a battery when it does go dead. I gave this tag to a friend to test since I don't have an iPhone, and she used it on her dog. She said that setup was relatively easy. She just paired it with her phone, and then the tag prompted you in the app to give it a name, so she called it Dash after her dog. I gave her a little rubber collar keeper to put on the dog's collar. There are many, many accessories available online and in stores for using the Apple AirTag, including these sort of rubber keepers that keep it flush with the collar, or a tag holder that hangs down like your traditional pet ID tag. So setup was easy, but the first issue she encountered was that she was unable to pair the device with her husband's phone. Apparently he has an older version of an iPhone that still works fine, and he's not interested in getting a new one, but for whatever reason, it would not pair with his phone because it said it wasn't compatible. The next thing she discovered was that even though it wasn't paired with her husband's phone, when he took the dogs for a walk, it didn't ping her. And we kind of thought that it would, sort of like the GPS collars do if you take your dog off the property or away from you and your phone that's connected to it. You'll get a ping saying your dog is on a walk or your dog has left home. But nothing like that happened, and we weren't sure why. Upon further investigation, we discovered that you have to go into the app and mark the item as lost to get a ping when it leaves your area or something like that. I don't have all the details on this because this is just part of my real life review of these items. If they're confusing me, they're probably going to confuse other users. So I'm just telling you the experience that we actually had. So after we ran a test on her dogs, I ran another test. I watched some other videos and saw that some folks did sort of a geocaching experiment with their AirTags where they would hide them someplace and see if they could find them later. So I hid it in 2 places. Of course, I knew where it was. One was buried under the ground next to a walking path near my home, which is, I don't exactly live in a metro area, but quite a few people walk on this path within Bluetooth range, so I thought that would be a good test. And the other place I put it was at my grooming shop, which is downtown. So I thought I would run this test and leave it there for 48 hours to see how many pings I got. So the AirTag got quite a few pings. We were getting several pings each day that it was hidden. And she would get a notification on her phone that would show that the tag was found, and there would be a picture on the map with a pin of where it was located. So funny story, when I put it in the park, I actually forgot where I put it. I thought I put it under one signpost, but I put it under the other. And it was kind of funny that I thought we actually lost it. So we were tracking the pings, thinking somebody took it, thinking an animal died up and ran off with it. But when we actually went and found it, it was right where I put it. So the next tag I tested was the Tile. Now, I got that because I'm an Android user, and Tile is a name brand that is compatible with Android. Unlike the AirTag for Apple, you do have to download the specific Tile app. You have to do that to connect to and manage the tag. You can also connect your tags with Hey Google, with Amazon Alexa, and with Siri, because the Tile is also compatible with the Apple phones. Basic service is included with the purchase price, and there is an optional subscription for premium services like smart alerts, 30-day location history, because otherwise it just shows you within 24 hours where the tag has been located, and item reimbursement if the Tile fails to locate a lost item. So I'm sure there's some restrictions on that, but this is an optional paid subscription for some extra services. So the Tile Mate, which was the one that I purchased, is the similar price to the Apple Tag, which is about $25. Now, interestingly, this one is totally sealed. So that was convenient, for example, when I buried it in the ground for my little test. But a problem with that is that the battery is not replaceable. The manufacturer says the battery should last up to 3 years. So I guess that's not a bad deal for $25. Instead of replacing the battery, you just buy another one when the battery quits. The Tile is supposed to work up to 250 feet from your phone. I didn't measure that exactly, but I did test it around the house, and I did actually put it on my dog to see how it would work. Another cool feature of the Tile Mate is that it has a QR code on the opposite side. On one side it says Tile, and on the other side it has a QR code. This works just like the other kinds of QR ID tags that I've talked about in my videos for dog ID, in that a finder can scan that code and you will be alerted that someone has found your dog or your other item that the Tile is attached to. Tile also sells QR code stickers, which serve the same purpose. So I ordered some just to check them out, and they're pretty cool. So basically you can put these on smaller items you may lose, like say a credit card or a folder for school or a book or something like that. So if these items get lost, or stick it on your laptop. So it's not a GPS or a Bluetooth, it's just a sticker. But if someone finds it, all they have to do is scan the QR code and you'll be notified that your item has been found, and you'll be put in touch with that individual who found it. The Tile Mate is relatively small. In fact, it's slightly smaller than the Apple Tag, and it's square as opposed to round. It wasn't a big deal on my big dog, but it might be a little clunky on a small dog unless you had it like on the back of the harness. That is one downside of these tags, that they are a little bit big and heavy for an animal to be wearing. As with the AirTags, the Tile Mate does have a lot of accessories that you can buy online to attach it to your keys or to your dog's collar, but it also has a little hole in it. So you could actually just put a split ring on it and hang it on your dog's collar like that. I opted for one of the rubber keepers to keep it flush with the collar so it wouldn't be banging around. When you download the app, it asks what you are using it for. So you can select dog, which I did. I found it to be very accurate in close range and around the house. I'd sort of test it, and I would tell the app that I was looking for the tag, and it would beep louder when I got closer to it. You can also make the tag beep, like that your phone will beep an alert if you're getting close to it, but it will also make the tag beep, which is kind of cool, but it also freaked out my dog. So around the house, it was cool, and when I was walking my dog, but when I did the test, like I did with the AirTag, I put it next to the walking path, and at my grooming shop, the results were not good. The limitation with the Tile is that it can only ping phones that have the Tile app downloaded. So they claim to have something like 4 million units sold, but I don't actually know how many people have that app. Now, in some online research, I saw that some people said you could look on your phone to see how many people were using Tile in your area. I don't know if that was part of the paid subscription, but I wasn't able to find that information, however hard I looked. I left it at my shop for 2 days and got no pings at all. Now, it is a little set back from the road, but it is a main road, and there's a lot of other offices around me, and people do walk by. But apparently none of them have the Tile app, so it didn't ping even in the middle of downtown. when I put it on the walking path, I only got one ping on a Sunday afternoon. Somebody with the Tile app walked by. Other than that, nothing. So unfortunately, that is one of the downsides of the Tile, is that it will only ping off of a phone that has the Tile app. So perhaps if you're in a super metro area like San Francisco, there will be enough people that have the app that it will work for you, but otherwise it's going to be hard to find your tag and your dog away from home and your phone. So the third tag I reviewed was the Cheapo from Amazon, and this was really cheap. It came in like a pack of 10 for 20 bucks or something like that. So I thought this would be a good one to test out and see how it works. And I got what I paid for. So I had to download an app called iSearching, and I couldn't make heads or tails of this app. And that's the thing about apps, is that they're supposed to be intuitive. Little kids can pick up phones and figure out how to take selfies and play games, and this I could not figure out to save my life. I tried pairing it with some of the tags, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. I couldn't get to the settings. The pamphlet that they give you, the lettering is so tiny that you'll need a magnifying glass to read it. And what it says didn't really match up with what I was seeing on the screen. It does not have the feature where it pings other people's phones, so there's that. So I thought, well, maybe it'll be helpful just to use around the house for lost items, because they are cheap. You can buy a whole box of them for a few bucks. So I tried hiding them around the house, and there wasn't any feature that would show me where they were. Basically, I just got a ping. I kind of walked across the street and down the street away from it, and I would just get a notification when I was out of Bluetooth range, and it would show me the last known location, which I already knew was in my house. So that seems to be all they do. Maybe there's more and I just didn't figure it out. But for that reason, I don't really recommend the little cheap ones. So which one is the best? As you may have guessed, it's the Apple AirTag. The reason is that many people have iPhones, and every iPhone comes with the Find My app. The user or the other folks with the phones that your tag is pinging off of do not have to download anything special in order for the unit to work. So if your dog runs away in a metro area and there are hundreds of people around, there's a good chance that at least half of them have iPhones, and that the tag will ping off of one of them and help you locate your dog. But all in all, because these kinds of tags work via crowdsourcing, they can work in a metro area, but I don't think it's a great choice as a dog ID. I would recommend instead a GPS collar, a QR code collar, or just a regular old collar with your phone number and maybe your address on it. So while it can't hurt to put one of these tags on your dog's collar or harness, it's not a guarantee that you're going to be able to find them, especially if they are not close to a lot of people with cell phones. I hope this has been helpful. Stay tuned for my upcoming video on which GPS collar is the best. Thank you for watching.